Hello, Nick. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. Let's just hop right in. You are a big Halo content creator. I say big, that's probably an understatement. You are one of the Halo content
I mean, I'm a
creators.
tall guy. Yeah,
Oh
you're not
yeah,
wrong.
Uber Nick is uber tall. I
Yeah.
met you at Worlds and I'm 4'11, so that was fun.
I was just in Salt Lake City and I would say 90% of everyone's first line to me is, "Wow, you're taller than I thought," because obviously
You're
sitting
in a
down doesn't
chair.
go. Yeah. So, yeah, no, 6'5" here, so
6'5". Why didn't they ask you to be chief?
I don't know,
They really missed the bubble there.
maybe next time.
Maybe, well, they'll pick up season three somewhere and they'll be like, Nick, we
You're
need
right.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, speaking of Halo, that's the whole reason you're here, obviously. So, give me a little rundown about what you do for our community, what got you into the content creation side of it, and then we'll talk a little more about Halo itself.
So my name is UberNick. I'm a YouTuber, probably first and foremost, but in recent times I've been focusing way more on like Twitch and live streaming. I started making content way back in 2009.
Oh, wow.
So kind of showing my age a little bit here, but way back in the day before there was even 1080p on YouTube.
Yeah.
Um, but I just started, doing Call of Duty videos and all that kind of stuff with my buddies when we were like 15, 14. And then they all quit, but I was like, damn, I kind of really love doing this. So I just kept making videos. And then in about 2014 of bouncing around the different games and doing stuff on YouTube, I finally landed on Halo 4 because I was always a huge Halo fan, but
Oh, my man. Yeah.
my first ever YouTube video was a Halo 3 montage
Yeah.
that I exported clips from my file share using the Bungie Pro system. So back in the
Oh,
day,
wow.
you could like download like 6 clips or something from your file share per month, and you had to pay for it. So I downloaded 6 clips, made a montage to like Rihanna Love the Way You Lie, and it was a banger, no longer available, but that was my first
Oh,
ever YouTube video back in 15 years ago now. So yeah, no, I've been through it. And then 2014 started really, getting serious about creating content on a regular basis because my buddies were making Halo content. And yeah, I mean, the rest is history.
yeah, nice. Well, you're gonna have to like release that video from the vault at some point for all of us to
It's
see.
it's on my old family computer on an old hard
Oh, not the
drive
family
that
computer.
yeah, the family computer, Windows Movie Maker, my parents being like,
Oh,
"What are you downloading?" And I'm like, "Honestly, I don't know, but I'm trying to make a YouTube video."
you're like, I'm being a content creator before it gets popular.
Mom, I'm
Leave
a
me alone.
content creator.
It's
Yeah,
not a
exactly.
phase.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. I mean, we're all glad that you did and that you kept going. And you are such a huge contributor to the community itself. And I always pop into your streams, every now and again. I'm like, sweet, dude. Like, I love that. So
Probably catch
Halo
me raging
4.
at a big team battle. So,
Yeah. Halo 4 was like the one for you that like kind of kicked it.
so as I said, I started like my first Halo was Halo 3 in
Yeah.
2008. So I've been playing Halo for a while, but
Yeah.
I guess at that time, like Black Ops or Modern Warfare, whatever one it was just like the game my buddies were like really playing. And what really kicked off YouTube and the interest for me was Call of Duty montages way
Yeah.
back in the day. So, I would watch these videos of super skilled players making a cool montage, and I'd be like, I need to do that. The problem was I was terrible at the game. So I would
Oh.
never be anywhere close to decent. Like I literally had like a negative KD and stuff in Call of Duty.
Oh,
So I was not for me whatsoever. And I was kind of mediocre to bad at video games for a long time.
yeah.
And then Halo 4, like I know Halo 4 gets a lot of, a bad rep from a lot of people. I love Halo 4.
It's
The
my
way I
favorite.
view, I mean, it's definitely up there for me. The way I view Halo is every Halo game is different. When people are like, oh, Halo 4 isn't a Halo game, I'm just like, well, when you compare CE to Reach, those are two very different video games, but they're both Halo to you. So it's
Yeah.
like, Halo 4 is just its own thing. It's okay if it's not your thing, but it is still a Halo game no matter what. So
Yeah.
I love it. It feels like a super fast-paced arcadey shooter game, which I'm all about. So yeah,
Yeah.
Halo 4 is definitely I love it. I absolutely love it.
That's crazy. I'm in the same boat. Halo 4 is actually I call it my Halo because that was like one of the first. I mean, I'd played before like CE and everything, but like the one that really got me into Halo was Halo 4. And
Yeah.
I get the same flack from people, and it's like I never took it differently. Like I always thought that it was kind of just like one of the last, dare I say, better continuations. I mean, we all have
Mm.
Halo 5 opinions. And
Yeah.
like,
We'll probably
so
talk about Halo
it's,
5 at some stage. I have a lot of opinions on that game.
oh
So,
yeah, we'll talk Halo 5. You want to talk Halo 5? We'll talk Halo 5.
oh, yeah.
um, but yeah, so I totally agree. Like Halo 4 was mine. I mean, I was never good at the game. I'm just simply a gold player. Uh, but we're mostly silver, but I'm just getting into gold.
There you go.
But
Difference.
grinding those ranks, that's all I can do. You though, sir, what rank are you?
Currently Diamond 6. I'm usually in Onyx, but I
Oh,
haven't played as much as I usually do, and those last couple games to get to Onyx have been just eluding me of the win. But I mean, I'll get there. But I usually float around Onyx. But I mean, I don't play ranked that much. As I said before,
yeah,
I'm more of a big team battle
BTB.
player. So I get my Onyx just to get it for that season, and then I just go back to squad battle, big team battle, all that.
If we could only all be so lucky. Like, oh yeah, I just play enough to get to Onyx and then I go back to socials.
I mean, to be fair, when people are like, I mean, I play Halo every single day,
Yeah.
basically, so it's like if I couldn't get Onyx somewhat casually, then all that practice is going nowhere.
Oh man, you are making a lot of people mad right now. I already know that. All the people that play every day.
Sorry,
They're still
y'all.
plat players. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you'll all get there. It's just I've played every day for like 9 years straight, so
Yeah. No, you've definitely got some time in for sure. I'm new to multiplayer in general. Infinite was my first like real multiplayer. So
really,
yeah, I'm an
wow,
Infinite baby when it comes to that. So it's like that's another thing that gets a lot of flack because people have opinions about Infinite as well.
yeah,
But I mean, it'll always hold a special place in my heart just
yeah,
because, it brought me to this point in my life, especially within the community. If it wasn't for Halo Infinite, Worlds, all that, like
yeah,
I would not be here talking to you.
yeah.
So yeah. But anywho, your big team battle Onyx player, tips and tricks. Like, how do you get there for us little people?
Um, damn, I get this a lot. It's like
I'm
how do you
sure
snipe?
you do.
Like how do you snipe better? I'm like shoot them in the head. Like I don't know. Like
You just aim like,
it's with me and BTB, like I'm by far not the best BTB player, but I've got like a few accolades like the BTB bonanzas at the HES events and whatnot. I always
yeah,
pop off a little bit at those. So I think I am like a pretty good big team battle player, but I'm certainly not the best. But I think when it comes to BTB, it's all about positioning and knowing where to be on the map at the right time. Like
right.
a lot of people that I notice that maybe don't do as well in the lobby are the ones that are in the middle of like nowhere without a good weapon and just getting, destroyed by a ghost. And it's like we're kind of
Me.
asking for yourself just to get kind of pooped on a little bit. Whereas
Yeah.
for me, like I'm always working towards, okay, what's my next power weapon? What's the next step up I can have over someone? You
Yeah.
can use the bandit all you want, but if you have a sniper or a rocket or whatever other weapon, it's always going to be that next level up over someone. So basically, always like think about where you're at in the map. Think about
Yeah.
what your objective is instead of just getting caught out doing nothing in the middle of the map that isn't going to achieve anything for you or your team.
Right. Game sense seems to be
Yeah. Yeah,
something that
work on that game sense. And I know it can get a little bit chaotic because it is 12 people on the other team, but yeah, once
yeah.
you get that locked down, you'll probably notice you'll either rack up more kills or just be more effective for your team in general.
Right. So when I first started playing Infinite, it was BTB for me all the time. And I remember like the bandit had just become a thing and they were swapping it all out. And it was like 20 kills to from a bandit to get Purple Rain, the coding.
Oh
And it
yeah.
took me the whole week to complete
Oh,
that. That's how bad I was. It took me the whole week to get 20 kills on a
I
bandit.
I won't tell you how long it took me.
Yeah. What, like 0.2 seconds?
I think
Like
I think it was my first game, but
oh yeah. See, that's why I was just like, like people make fun of me still. I've come a long way from 20 kills in a week. And I was struggling because I was playing for hours.
yeah, yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing. It's like I think what annoys me most about myself when I'm streaming is I know it's a big team battle, but I have like a real competitive strike in me that comes
Oh yeah.
out only for Halo. Like I'm super chill, happy all the time in real life, but Halo is the one thing that just kind of irks me a little bit, you know.
The
But I think it's
Achilles
because
heel.
I think it's because I care so much about it. That's where the frustration can come from. So if I'm playing a game and someone on my team goes like 0 and 10, I'm like, what are they doing? But you know,
Yeah.
not everyone plays every day like me. Not everyone is just good at the game, and that's
Yeah.
completely okay. Like being not good at Halo is completely fine. So I need to like kind of snap myself back into
Yeah.
reality a little bit that not everyone has the time to play to be able to drop 30 kills every game and whatnot.
Right. No, I get that. Halo's the only game that tilts me beyond belief. Like
Yeah,
I usually video games for me, I just like play and like let my eyes go in two different directions and like, chill out. But Halo just doesn't allow me to do that. It's like a
yeah,
sweaty match. Even if it's socials, I want to win. I just
yeah.
want to win.
Halo is the only like competitive game I play. I play pretty much just Halo multiplayer, and then everything
Yeah.
else is all single player. So I really don't let
Oh,
myself
yeah.
get too caught up with
Yeah,
competitive games too much.
man. Well, speaking of playing competitively, tell me about your time with HCS here.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I've never competed HCS, but as I said, I've been in the BTB Bonanzas and all that at the HCS events, and then being in grassroots. I was in the first wave of grassroots back
Yeah.
in like 6 years ago, something like that. I can't even remember the timeline now because it's been so long. But I mean, I've always just been a really big fan of HCS. I was kind of later to competitive Halo compared to a lot of people that I know, but I started watching competitive Halo with Halo 5
Okay.
in like 27, 16, 17,
Yeah.
and went to a couple events in London, completely fell in love with it. And then going into Infinite, obviously Space Station, joined
Yeah.
Space Station as a streamer. So I had like a double reason to be super into it
Yeah.
because already had a lot of interest. It was fun to watch, but also I was part of a team to actually root for. So, just just gone strengths to the strengths. Like I feel like I have never enjoyed competitive Halo more than I have right now.
Yeah. Absolutely. So tell me, SSG, how did that happen?
So SSG are one of the orgs that have a lot of belief and faith in having creators kind of represent them. Some
Yeah.
orgs just focus on the pro side of things, which is fine, but SSG likes to have, actual personalities to kind of bolster their content, sponsors, whatever you
Yeah.
want to say. So whenever Infinite was coming out, they wanted a Halo creator, and Elamite was already there from, just kind of them preparing for the game coming out.
Right.
And in 2020, they reached out to me, but obviously Infinite got delayed in 2020. So
Yeah.
then they were like, okay, cool. Like we would love to, you to join, but let's just put this conversation on hold. I'm like, yeah, totally fine. So then
Yeah.
2021 comes around, the flights for Infinite are kicking off, and I'm like, okay, cool. Hopefully they reach out to me because I think they're a dope organization. And
Yeah.
then around August 21, they message me again and pop in another call, and then we come to an agreement on, the what basically what I'd be
Terms.
looking
Yeah.
for, terms and all that. And then yeah, that's just how it went. It was pretty straightforward. So without Elamite,
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have got that opportunity. But it's funny
Yeah.
you mentioned that because in 2 days as of recording this, I don't know when this is releasing, but on the 14th of September is my 3-year anniversary with Space Station.
Oh,
So
well, congrats on your 3 years. That's
yeah, yeah.
huge. I mean, geez, that's amazing. SSG, like the organization in general, but like I saw like the roster they have right now for Halo Infinite. It's like that was Cloud9 when I
Mm,
saw Worlds the first time. And
mm,
every time I would try to tell people that, nobody believed me. And I was like, no, like like all these guys were they were on Cloud9 like 3 years
yeah,
ago. And now like they're SSG and they're kicking ass. Like
yeah,
they are like the team. And this
yeah.
is coming from, I mean, SSG's my B team, I will be honest with you, but this is coming from an Optic fan.
E
He's like, wow, get me off of this fucking podcast right
literally
now.
right next to me of my Space Station
Love
hoodie.
it. I
So I
love
have
it.
just literal Space Station stuff everywhere. Like you could see
Yeah.
if you saw my closet, you would have a heart attack. It's insane.
I want that pink hoodie like so bad.
I
Like
think I
I
have like
saw that, I was like, oh,
I have like two different SSG pink hoodies. Like I have a
uh,
rainbow of hoodies in my closet now. So
I love it. I'm definitely like hitting up that merch booth at Worlds. Speaking of which, am I gonna see you at Worlds?
Of course,
Of
yeah,
course
I'll
I
be
am.
there. I'm going on the 29th. I'm actually going like a week early to
Oh,
Worlds, so
nice.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm gonna have a real good time in Seattle. I'm super excited.
Yeah, no, Seattle's a place. That's where I'm at. So
Yeah, certainly is a place.
it certainly is a place. Yes, it is a noun. No.
Yeah, yeah. No, Seattle is actually my most like visited city
I'm
in the
sure.
entire U.S. because back when I first ever traveled to the U.S. solo, it was for PAX back in
Ah,
2017.
okay.
So I was a PAX scorer for up
Yeah.
until COVID,
Yeah.
and then HES and Worlds and all that were kind
Bringing you
of
back.
bringing me back. So yeah,
Yeah. No, I mean you've been to the Halo Museum at 343, correct?
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
I just went for my first time and was like, wow. Like just when you think your collection is good,
Yeah, right. It
they
really
come and
humbles
open
you.
the door on your
Yeah,
face.
yeah, it really humbles you.
Yeah, it really did. Humble, that's a great word because I was sitting there like, yeah, I thought I was cool.
Yeah, I got my little chief helmet and fret there, and I'm just like, they have the full
Yeah.
body chief, so
Yeah, literally. It's like you think you're cool for having like two helmets, and then you turn around and you're like, oh, like
yeah,
this is full Mjolnir.
yeah. I do have
Yeah.
one thing in my collection that I am like super pumped about. There's only like nine of them in
Oh,
existence, and one of them is in the actual museum. So I'm like one of like a couple people that have this one little super exclusive thing, which I'm stoked about.
yeah. Can you tell us? Tell the
Yeah,
class.
I'll show
Tell
you
the
once.
class. And now we get to see how tall you are.
I have to open the display case for this one.
Yeah.
So this is my Forerunner statue.
Oh, wow.
So I got this for being a Forerunner on Halo Infinite. So it was like a little test.
Ah,
That was a test script for Infinite before the game came out.
yeah.
So we got to be kind of involved with like testing the game early and just giving
Yeah.
feedback and whatnot. So everyone that was an original Forerunner was given that statue. So I think there's like 9 or 10 of them, and then one of them is in the museum as well.
Right. Wow.
That's like my one big collector's flex. That's
Yeah.
like the
Your
one
claim to
big
fame.
thing. Yeah, that's my one big thing that I mean, I'll never get rid of that, obviously,
Yeah.
because, getting to have that opportunity as a huge Halo fan was
Absolutely.
spectacular. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, super cool.
Yeah. So then, I mean, you got to test for that. How was that? Like, what was that like for you, just as like a Halo fan, like to be like, wow, I get to play this before
Let me,
everybody
uh,
else.
let me put my NDA brain on, but it was really cool. I mean, obviously the game's been out for years now, so I
Yeah.
don't mind touching on a few things. I mean, like,
Yeah, I'm not trying to pry, but you know
yeah,
what I
no,
mean.
of course, of course. Yeah, it was super cool. I mean, obviously, as a huge Halo fan, getting that opportunity to, come test the game was like an easy yes. They were like, oh, you think about it. And I was like, oh, yeah, like I already have my answer ready to go.
Yeah.
So we got to go to 343 twice before the game
Nice.
came out and, got to actually be in the studio for a couple of days and test it, which was
Oh, wow.
just incredible. Like just the coolest thing ever
Yeah.
for,
Wow.
I would say I'm as big a Halo fan as you can get. So for me, it
Oh,
was
yeah.
just like a magical experience. It was unbelievable. So
Yeah.
super cool.
Wow. So then ultimately, like, what is your favorite thing about Halo in general? Like, what is really that sort of like end all be all factor for you that's like,
It's
this is the game, like this is it for me.
it's the community for me.
Yeah.
Like as I said, as I said earlier, every Halo game is different. So it's like I feel like me saying, oh, the gameplay is kind of like, well, which one? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
which specific Halo gameplay is the one that you enjoy the most. So I
Yeah.
find the Halo community is but there's so many talented, kind, just lovely people
So true.
that I get to interact with every day. Shout out to my
Yeah.
Twitch viewers. I feel like the Halo community can get a bad rap from the bad apples on Twitter that are super loud. But if you like
Yeah.
really like peel back the curtain, there's just a lot of people that are super passionate and love this game and franchise for different reasons. So, I just
Yeah.
I just find myself staring and looking more at that side than allowing myself to be caught up in the drama and
Right.
the people that are, just not even a Halo. I don't look at those people as Halo fans. I look at them as
Yeah.
people that just enjoy drama and
Right.
being part of something like that's, I don't know,
Yeah. It's
negative
like,
for some reason. Like I really do take a real hard focus in my life to be like a positive, happy
Yeah,
influence on people. So the fact that I
absolutely.
get to do that while playing Halo is like just like the perfect concoction for me. I really landed on my feet with all this somehow. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and we can tell, us fans of yours, we can tell that you really
I,
do put like your heart and soul into it, and you are
yep,
a positive influence. Like,
I appreciate that.
of course, like there's seldom do I find other streamers that really are just like very positive about the game, like 100% of the
Yeah.
time. Like,
Saying
obviously there
that,
are things, but like
yeah.
every
It's like
game.
it's like saying that, it's not like a lot of people think that I like hold myself back because I'm scared of my relationship with 343 being impacted. And like I don't like, if you ever watch Unishack stream, not to call him out, but he rages like a crazy person on his
Yeah.
stream. Like there is nothing that I fear no way of, oh, like
Yeah.
I'm not a big team battle. How will 343 view this? I say F this game every other game, to be honest. But
Yeah.
I feel like that just shows how much of a real Halo fan you are. Like
Exactly.
the real Halo fans are the ones that get most frustrated because they care so much. So,
Exactly. No, literally,
um,
if you're sitting there the whole time like this is fine, it's like no, like we're getting pissed because we care.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So, as you said, everyone has their issues and everyone has a lot of
Yeah.
valid issues. I have an entire laundry list of issues myself, but I get a lot of bit of flack from people being like, "Oh, why don't you like tweet about them more, make more YouTube videos?" I'm like, I don't want to spend my time being negative, like
Exactly.
I don't care to make a YouTube video on this negative subject that doesn't
Right.
bring me joy to make.
Right.
So I don't know. That's where it comes down to. If you want to make change, then do it yourself. Don't rely on someone else.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. And honestly, we need more like us as a community, like you said, we've definitely like got a bad rap from a lot of those people. And it's like us as a community, I think we just need more positivity. Like, yeah, games come out, they're buggy, they have this, that, and the third wrong with them or whatever, or people don't
mm,
agree with it. Like, but it's like that's the age we live in. Like it's not just Halo. So it's so funny to me when I see stuff like online about things like
mm,
that. It's like, guys, like if you don't like the game, quit button's like right there.
yeah, yeah,
Like you can quit out anytime you want. No
yeah,
one's got a gun to
exactly.
your head.
Yeah. So I mean, feel free to give your feedback, but don't call for people to lose their
Exactly.
jobs and whatnot. Comes down to that for me.
Exactly. I mean, it's like tabloids, like celebrity drama too. It's like people just eat that up because they just want it. But at
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
time, it's like you have to like, are you a fan or are you a fake fan?
Exactly. Exactly.
So I'm noticing your headset.
Oh yeah.
That's amazing. I've been looking at that. I'm like, I need to call that out. That is too cool.
I'll sit like this for the rest of
Yeah, the
the
whole time.
yeah. I got those at a London event like 2018 or something. So thankfully
Yeah.
they've survived this long because I don't think you can get them anymore. So I'm gonna hold on to them as long as I can.
Yeah. And then just put them in the vault again,
Yeah,
like behind the
exactly.
casing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yep. No. Well, other than that though, like you are always like you said, you play Halo every day. You've seen all the changes that have happened throughout the games and everything like that. We touched on this earlier, and we already talked about like the favorite Halos and whatever, what makes, Halo for you. Well, let's talk about five.
Yeah. Yeah. Number
Let's talk
five.
about five because everyone's got like I've seen so many mixed things. You have your competitive players that are like Halo 5 babies, and that's how they started. Like Lucid for one is a Halo 5 baby. I think Trippy was too from Optic.
Yeah.
Brothers in Arms there. I am thinking of a million other people in the community that I know of that
Blind,
also stream.
Stellar,
Yeah,
Legend.
SSG,
So most of
exactly.
SSG all started with five. So
Exactly. Our like top players are Halo 5 babies. And the
yeah.
thing is like I was a campaign girly when that dropped. So as far as like multiplayer, I played it maybe like twice.
Yeah.
Couldn't get behind it personally. Which is funny given like Infinite now. But
Yeah.
but campaign wise, I I like me a little sassy Cortana. Okay, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
Yeah.
We like some sassy Cortana.
Yeah.
I like the difference in like characters and things like that, but I wanted more Chief campaign
Or
wise.
Chief.
I wanted
Yeah.
more Chief. Like I wanted more of that storyline, him trying to
Yeah.
find Cortana, because I'm just a big Chief and Cortana fan.
Mm.
Like that's what kind of kept me into Halo for so long. So you though having more experience not only just on that but the campaign or the multiplayer aspect as well. What are your thoughts, UberNick?
So I think Halo 5, and there's gonna be a lot of people watching that are like, huh? I think Halo 5 might be the ultimate like online Halo experience, in my opinion. I just because of the offering, had the
Yep.
competitive stuff. The Forge in Halo 5 was incredible.
Yep.
But it also had Warzone, which is my favorite multiplayer experience Halo has ever had.
Yeah.
It single-handedly is the reason where I am. I popped off initially on YouTube because of Halo 5 Warzone. I would make a
Yeah.
bunch of different series using different weapons and the rec weapons and all that. And that's where I got, my start with YouTube. That's where my channel actually gained any kind of momentum. So I have
Yeah.
such a love and soft spot in my heart for Halo 5 because without that game, I wouldn't have a career, really.
Yeah.
I would not have a career in content creation without that game.
Right.
I absolutely hate the campaign though. Completely.
That
I despise the
seems to be the
campaign.
consensus.
So, and it's a real shame because I think a lot of Halo fans agree that Halo 5 multiplayer wise was absolutely spectacular,
Yeah.
but I think a lot of people just can't get the bad campaign out of their minds. So they're just immediately like, oh, Halo 5 sucks. When Halo 5
Yeah.
actually was 50% incredible and 50% very mediocre, in my opinion.
Yeah.
There are people that like Halo 5, and that's fine. It just was
Yeah.
not my cup of tea. I agree. I didn't care for Locke. Way too many characters to keep track of and
Yeah.
care about. Give me Chief, give me Cortana. To me, that's Halo.
Yep.
I'm saying that I don't think Chief and Cortana have to be in every Halo game. Like, I would love
Right.
to see a Jerome focused game or
Right.
whatever.
I
So
mean, we had ODST,
yeah.
Reach,
Yeah.
like
So I'm totally cool with like a non-Chief game, but if you're gonna have Chief there, he's on the, front
the
cover of the
forefront.
game and he's in a couple missions, really. It's like, all
Yeah.
right, kind of not what I was looking for. So
Right, right. Yeah, they really played it like it was going to be a little bit more of that
yeah.
storyline. And like, I was super excited every time we got to Chief trying to find Cortana. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
they could have made a whole game off of this, like him
Yeah.
just searching for her again. But, which will then now bring me to Halo Infinite and your thoughts on the campaign there.
So I really like Infinite.
I did
I
too.
think I really do like Infinite a lot. I think I do prefer the multiplayer over the campaign personally, but I do really love the campaign. But the problem with the campaign for me is open world-ish Halo is like super fun and the concept of it is super exciting, but I feel like Infinite unfortunately suffered from a lot of cutbacks during
Yeah,
development. And you can really notice that because the world is cool, but it just doesn't quite hit the spot for me when it comes to what I would want and expect from an open world Halo game.
right.
There was no big climactic moments, there was no
Yeah,
scarab fight, there was no
yeah,
like calling in ODSTs for
yeah,
help, or I have all these crazy big ideas for an open world Halo game.
yeah,
I thought like, oh, Infinite is like, will you be getting like a band of people together to come help you fight the Banished? But it was kind of
right.
just Chief doing his thing. And I enjoyed like the
Yeah,
emotional aspect of it and the story and all that. And,
yeah,
I overall did really enjoy the actual story itself. But yeah, the open world was fun. But I mean, to give you an idea, I've only played through it once,
yeah.
ever. So, and that was
I feel like
back
I
when the
hear that a
game
lot
first
about
launched.
Infinite.
So I loved it when it launched, but I have not really felt until like actually a couple weeks ago. I've been thinking I want to stream through it again,
Yeah,
but in the last 3 years, I've not really felt a need or a want to play through it again. But
yeah.
when I compare that to Halo 3, I played through Halo 3 dozens upon maybe even hundreds of
Yeah.
times over my life.
Halo
So
3 is goaded. Like,
yeah, can't go wrong with Halo 3.
yeah, can never go wrong with Halo 3. Yeah,
Yeah.
I completely agree. As far as the open world went, like I love me a good linear game. So I mean, I was excited to hear that Halo, because like I didn't even find out about Infinite. I had been out of the Halo realm for like quite a bit, and like I didn't
Mm.
even find out about Infinite until I booted up my new Xbox, and they were like in a week, and I was like, "You're shitting me!" Like I didn't even know.
Wow.
Like yeah,
That's
I had a
awesome.
week to wait. So it was like, and the show
God,
had
I'm
just came
jealous.
out, come out. Yeah, literally. Meanwhile, everybody else has like been champing at the bit the whole time. But yeah, I had it easy. But it was like I was like, sweet. I was like in school at the time and I literally took the week off to play. And
Yeah.
like, I was just enthralled, and I was like, holy shit, like this is new. Like it's open world, like we have like bases to capture. And but
Yeah.
then after a while, even just playing, like I've been playing through it again on Legendary, God help me.
Mm.
But I've been playing through it again. But like I'm like, this is just like a base capturing game. It feels like a little bit sometimes. Like
Yeah,
I still
that's
like it, but it's like
yeah.
I feel like the whole objective here is just capturing bases. And like I like,
Yeah.
okay. And
Yeah,
then I'll be
definitely.
in a new part of the map and I'm like, oh, I was just here, but I wasn't. So it's like I can't
Yeah.
fault Infinite because I still, like you said, the emotional aspect, the storyline of it. I love Esparza, like, the weapon, happy Cortana, like
Yeah.
yay, like we
Yeah.
wanted that, to some degree. Like I
Yeah.
miss Cortana for sure, but I do love the weapon. I think I love that Jen Taylor was her again. I think I would have been
Yep.
devastated if it wasn't,
Yeah,
honestly.
definitely. Definitely.
So I do like the campaign, but there are definitely things about it that I'm like, ah.
Yeah, if they just had a couple big moments, I mentioned
Yeah,
Scarab. I just think a banished Scarab appearing would have been
would have
cool.
been amazing.
Also like just, more diversity in the biomes, like a snowy
Yeah.
area, more like
Yes.
stuff like that. I think that would have went a long
Yeah.
way because it was all basically just forest and swampland, and
Yeah, it
it's
was
like,
literally Washington without the rain, which I
yeah,
know Washington is already their inspo for a lot of that. Which when I moved here, I could like immediately I noticed. I was like, this looks like Halo. Like,
yeah,
and then I found out it is Halo essentially. But that was another thing that I really missed out too. Like I wanted rain and I wanted snow and
yeah.
just put me in the world.
Yeah, so I
Um,
did appreciate the day and night cycle. I mean,
yeah,
there's moments playing it where I was like, this is the most beautiful thing
sunsetting.
I've ever seen. So it really
Yeah.
did show like the beauty of Halo. I feel like there
Yes.
was a couple areas where I'm like, this is why I love Halo's like visuals so much because it
Yes.
really just struck me. But if I had that, but more biomes, it would have been
Yeah.
just perfect. So
Would have been just that much
yeah,
better. Yeah.
Halo and snow levels go together like super well. So
Oh, I know. Absolutely.
maybe in the next
That's
one.
let's hope. I mean, maybe
Hopefully.
343 will call you and be like, "Hey, we heard that you've got ideas. Cook for us."
Yeah, yeah. I'll come chef it up a little bit if they wanted. I wouldn't
Yeah,
say
come
no.
cook for us.
Yeah.
No, I totally get that. So, back to multiplayer though on Infinite. They're dropping maps, every once in a while they sprinkle some newness on us. How do you feel? Like, how do you feel about the state of like multiplayer right now? Like how, like where we're at as far as content, not just like stuff to customize our Spartans, but like
Um,
maps, weapons.
I think I have a pretty interesting perspective on this because I was a forerunner. It
Yeah.
allowed me to really grasp the realities of development and why
Yeah.
something can't just exist the way you want it
Yeah.
to. And it's like, what another thing I learned is the developers want the game to be even better than what you do. Like the developers care more than anyone. A
Yeah.
lot of people don't think this, but everyone that works that I've ever met at 343
Yeah.
care about it way more than anyone else
No,
because,
absolutely.
it's Halo, it's their baby, it's their work, it's what they're putting out there for people to experience. I know for me with a YouTube video, like I wouldn't put out a shitty video because it's like
Right.
part of who I am. It represents me. Same with anyone that does anything creative, anything they put out, they want it to be the best they can. But
Yeah.
when you're putting together basically a piece of software that is extremely, it has a lot of work put into it by hundreds, maybe thousands of different people. Like the fact that
Yeah.
video games exist to me is insane. When you really think about the amount of work and the amount of people that have to work together to make it happen. So yeah, with the state of Infinite, like, do I wish there was more actual content out of it? Of course I do, but from Microsoft and 343's perspective, we all know that there's a new game in development. You
Yep.
probably heard about the CE leaks and stuff. If that's
Yes.
real, then they're probably full steam ahead with that. So Infinite, it makes sense for it to wind down, slow down. You can't have hundreds of people still working on a game that overall doesn't have like a huge population, probably doesn't bring in a ton of money,
Yeah.
but probably enough to justify them adding the stuff that they are. So anyone that still plays Infinite is like they'll probably not playing it any or they'll not stop playing it anytime soon because it's the game they enjoy.
Yeah.
Infinite is never going to have a big resurgence of players, but they're
Right.
just kind of trying to keep the people that are there happy. So the fact that Forge is as powerful as it is, and the fact that the Forge community are so unbelievably talented,
Yes.
and the fact that 343 and them are able to work together to give
Yeah.
us any kind of new content is awesome. So, do I wish there was actual new content, weapons, vehicles, blah blah blah? 100%. Do I
Yeah.
understand why there's not? It's just the sad
Yeah.
state of Infinite didn't quite go the way that they wanted it to, and they've had to kind of cut those ties and move on. So it's
Right.
just it is a business in the end of the day.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I totally agree. Every time like I have an opinion about something or I'm like even when I stream, it's like people ask like what do you think about the bandit? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? It's like yeah, I'll have a lot of big opinions, but then I will always finish it and be like, but I'm not a game developer. Like I can say whatever I want till I'm blue in the face, but this is why I'm not working at 343 because I mean, amongst other reasons, but like I'm not a game developer. There's so much that
Yeah.
goes into just the littlest things that like I feel like a lot of people that are just like drinking haterade all day about it like don't understand that like it's not just we're gonna pipe in some code and here's a new weapon. Like no, this
Yeah.
is like testing, develop. Like it's
Yeah,
work.
there's so much work that would go into even a
Yeah,
weapon. There's animation needed, sound effects. There has to be, the visual effects. There has to be testing for it, concept art, blah
exactly.
blah. There's like an endless amount of stuff. So many different teams have to have their hand on it. It's
Yeah,
not like an animator would not be able to make a new weapon by themselves. They could like do a cool reload and whatnot for it, but would they be able to like design how it works? No, it's
right.
like there's a lot of people that need to have their hand on every single thing that goes into the game.
Exactly. And I just wish more people that are like constantly on Twitter screaming about things would like understand that and kind of give them
Yeah,
a break. Cause
yeah.
like I
I
feel
try
bad.
to
I feel really bad
I
sometimes reading
I
through my
feel bad. I
timeline.
feel bad too, but I also have to just realize like a lot of people just don't understand it, and
Yeah.
it's like hard. It's hard to be annoyed at people that just straight up
Don't get
don't
it.
understand. But if you're allowing yourself to get that frustrated and angry about it, then maybe research it before you get start
Literally.
screaming into the void. So
No, yeah, I totally agree.
yeah.
That being said, you touched on CE's remake or remaster or whatever the rumor was. How do you feel about that? Like, being the next thing that
Uh,
we get, possibly.
Kind of like mixed on it. It's like it's Halo, so it's like cool. I'll
Yeah.
play
More Halo.
it. But at the same time, there's like so many elements to it that I'm thinking about, and I also consider things a lot differently now that I am a content creator with Halo. It's like, is it going to be good for me and my content?
Right.
It's like I'm a fan first and foremost, but then I'm like, okay, well, past being a fan, enjoying it day one and playing, like
Yeah.
long term, what can I actually do with this? Um, so if it comes out and it's like a full remake and not just a pretty up remaster,
Yeah.
by remake, what I would hope from that is it's the same story that we all know and love,
Yes.
but everything that was cut, everything that had to be left out for whatever reason is thrown in there. I'm
Yeah.
talking new areas of the maps, maybe new enemies, new
Yeah.
weapons, new whatever. Like just make it the absolute definitive OG view that CE was meant to be, then
Right.
I'm totally cool with it. And then that, if it's in Unreal Engine and it's just
Oh, yeah.
absolutely unbelievably beautiful, like, oh yeah, like I'm all for that. But it really has to be like a totally extended edition of CE. Like if it's just the same game but just more shiny, I
Yeah.
immediately do not care. I'll still play it, but I
Yeah.
don't care.
Well, because they
And that
already remastered it, didn't
yeah,
they?
in
So,
2011, yeah.
yeah.
So I don't know, but when it comes to content and stuff, it's like I can do a playthrough of the campaign
Yeah.
for my YouTube, but when it comes to multiplayer, I'm worried if it does have a multiplayer because Halo 2 Anniversary was met with a lot of flack because
Yes.
it was not Halo 2. It was
Yeah.
Halo 4 with a Halo 2 skin on it. So I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I
Yeah.
had
Yeah. You're
fun.
like, this is dope.
But Halo 2 fans that were expecting to relive their childhood
Yeah.
were met with something that it did
Right.
not look like Halo 2 at all. It really,
Right.
really, I mean, it had weapons that weren't in Halo 2. It didn't play like Halo 2. It wasn't Halo 2. It was literally Halo
Yeah.
4's engine for Halo 2 Anniversary. So, um, I worry about the multiplayer because there's a lot of CE purists out there because CE is very much its own entity.
Yeah,
So if they touch that and made it a modern day combat evolved,
yeah.
it's I don't know. There'd be a lot of fans who'd be very upset, and I just don't know if that's something that the 343 need to add on to.
Yeah, at this point in time, I'm not entirely sure. I've
So
definitely been like kind of kicking that idea around myself, and it's like, well, us hardcore Halo fans will be there no matter what. But, at the same time, like you want what you're getting, what's being proposed to you. So it's
yeah,
like, yeah, I totally agree with that. Like if it's something that's like what Halo shoulda, coulda, woulda been, sure. If we get all the new things or not new, but like the things we should have had or could have
yeah,
had, like absolutely, like that would be a dream for any of us.
yeah,
But we can only time will tell when
yeah,
it comes to
yeah.
that. So, um, but that being said, weapons that have been across all the games, what do you miss?
What do I miss in Infinite?
Yeah. What do
Uh,
you wish that you could have just like had this whole time? Be like, damn, like they really really should have
the
had this.
easy answer, the real gun.
Yeah.
Absolutely the real. I love the real gun.
Nice.
What a weapon that is.
Yeah.
Which is more of a more modern weapon, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a 343 era weapon, but
Yeah.
Railgun in Halo 4 and 5, where
Yep.
it just, I don't know, like I picture in my head someone grappling and you just go whoops and you're
Yeah.
firing and just taking them out. It would be so much fun.
Yeah.
And I think in general, Infinite needs more like anti-vehicle weapons, so it would fit well in there.
Yep.
The Spartan Laser would be neat, but
Yeah,
you
everybody
know,
misses that one.
yeah, I think the laser would have negative impacts as well as positive. So I feel like the railgun would kind of fit in a little bit neater than the
Yeah.
Spartan laser, even though the Spartan laser is iconic and I do miss
Oh
just
yeah.
having this big cannon on my shoulder
Yeah.
and knocking anything or anyone down. But
Right
yeah,
out.
probably the railgun would be my choice.
Yeah, nice. I definitely like I'm honestly I kind of miss some of the things like the Covenant carbine and like, those kinds of
There's
things.
a lot of
Like,
classics like those that I would
yeah.
love to see, like the beam rifle
Yep.
and dual rod and all that. Like I would
Yep.
love to see those come back for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And even just like people miss the bubble shield, and people miss like
Yeah.
things like that. And it's like, so as far as equipment goes, what are you what are you pining for?
Um, I actually think Infinite has the best equipment set
Yeah,
in
I
any
think it's
Halo
pretty good.
game. I mean, I think the grapple is still as fun to use as it was day one. I
Yep.
think whoever designed the grapple, you sir or madam, you killed it. You absolutely killed that. It was
Cosine.
every day that I use it, I'm sliding about, grappling weapons, swinging around a corner, like still having as much fun as I was day like first time I
Yeah.
ever used it,
Yeah.
So yeah, and even the repulsor, super fun. So yeah, whoever was in charge of the equipment on Infinite, you killed it. You did such a good job. What would I want added?
If anything.
I don't know. Like the drop shield, I think does a fine job of what it
Yeah.
is used for. I guess Halo 3 also had a drop shield and the bubble shield. So
Yeah.
would I want both of those? Maybe. Like I wouldn't complain about the bubble shield being back. It's
Yeah.
definitely cool and also iconic. So I'd probably
Absolutely.
throw a bubble shield in there, but I don't feel, super passionate about it. If it was there,
Yeah.
cool. If it's not, like I'm not like I thinking about it every day. Like, oh, this will
You're
be
like, where's the bubble shield?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm pretty cool. And like the quantum translocator is super cool. Like
Yeah.
I think the equipment options in Infinite are pretty solid.
Yeah. So what do you always find yourself gravitating to when you're in ranked? Like what's the like thing that you're aside of the grapple, let's say, like what's what you're
Probably the
using?
repulsor. Catch me
Yeah.
live fire repulsor sitting in B, just boom, bop,
Nah.
like knocking people off the map. Like that's me. I'm that guy.
Yeah.
So
Oh, you're that guy. Okay.
yeah.
The one that's
So
constantly making me respawn. Got
yeah,
it.
watching the little bots just walk in front of me. I'm kidding. I'm
Yeah.
kidding. Yeah,
Just
but
watching me ragdoll away.
I do like watching. I do like using the repulsor because
Yeah.
maybe my toxic trait using the repulsor, it's like I know that it's pissing them off even more.
Yeah.
So it's like not only do I get a fun kill, but I'm also really pissing them off. So it's
Yeah.
like the
Oh, you
double
are.
whammy.
You definitely are.
I'm toxic as hell, but it happens. It happens a
Competitive.
lot to me. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's all part of the fun. Like I honestly kind of miss the days when like chat was toxic. You had the lobbies were like popping off. Like
Yeah.
I do. Maybe that's bad. That's probably my big red flag. But like I miss that. Like, it was
Everyone has
fun.
a red flag, so it's fine. But
It's yeah. I
I
feel like
was
I'm like a
definitely
walking
I
group.
was raised in those Modern Warfare 2 search and destroy lobbies, so
Oh
I don't
God.
know. I don't know
Yep.
if I would say I miss it, but it certainly was a time for sure. It was a time that I've had.
Yeah. I mean, within reason. There's definitely been some things. I used to Modern Warfare 3, like back in the day was like kind of my thing. So like, you had proxy chat and you had like all that and like lobbies were just popping off all day long. And then, the minute somebody hears a girl, it's like, oh, like collective mode.
Yeah.
So, to some degree, maybe, but like to me, that's all like competitive fun. Like,
Yeah.
I can imagine, or at least God, I hope they're not like that for real.
Yeah.
But
You hope.
yeah, I hope that's like the fine line that we're walking here when I say I miss it. Like, if
Yeah.
it was just like all in good fun, maybe,
If it's a bit of
but
banter, cool. If it's their actual honest feelings, then
yeah,
maybe
then we have a
not.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. But yeah, so like other than that though, we've kind of gone through like all the games. Like we've gone through multiplayer for like between five, infinite, everything else. As far as like the lore is expansive. Like it's not just like I would say it's not just a universe. This shit goes beyond that. Like
Yeah.
there's so much about Halo that like I thought I knew. Like when I get into something, I get into something, right? So when I
Yeah.
first started getting into Halo, it was like I'm on Google, I'm looking stuff up, and I'm like, I'm never gonna know any of this. Like
Yeah.
this is like expanded way beyond like my comprehension. So
Mhm.
like out of everything, given what we know about the Halo universe, given what we know about even just like content that's been out, the novels, the show, obviously the games, movies that have come out, like
Mhm.
what what really strikes you within all of that aside of just the games? Like what's something that you find yourself like gravitating towards, like, you know?
Um, like what part of the Halo lore interests me the most, basically?
Yeah,
Uh, Probably anything flood related, to be
nice.
honest. I think the flood are just, I love like scary movies, scary games, anything
Yeah.
creepy and scary, like I'm all about it. And the flood are terrifying. And
Oh
I
God,
feel
yeah.
like the games have never done a great job of actually truly showing
How scary.
just how like horrific the flood really are. I think the Halo Legends animation that came out, a couple episodes, maybe just that one episode, kind of showed the flood and just how,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
universe destroying they are. I feel like they did a great job with that. So having that but in a game showcased, which maybe if the CE remake comes out and obviously we'll have the flood in it,
yeah,
that could be the time where it shows, oh damn, the flood are like
yeah.
not to be messed with,
Yeah.
So a modern take on that could be super fun. But anything flood related, I'm all about for sure.
Yeah. No, they definitely like have yeah, that's like some nightmare fuel shit. Like,
Yeah,
especially like the very first time you remember seeing it, it's like, oh my God, like
yeah,
wow. Like Halo to me, like going back to CE, it was eerie. Like the game itself had like an eerie vibe, especially in comparison to now. Like I feel
yeah,
like back when it first came out, it was like, okay, like scary aliens, like,
yeah.
like whoa, like
Well, you're in these claustrophobic,
yeah.
alien hallways, and you hear like this, like,
Ugh.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait, what was
Yeah.
that? Can you do that again? Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect, perfect. I can tell you practiced that before,
My
but
foot impression.
but yeah, no, like walking through the hallways and just hearing that, like, it was actually creepy. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and like it was dark too. Like the game was just darker, like the colors popped more. Like there
yeah,
was just a lot of like moments where I'm like, this is scary. Like especially
yeah,
as a kid, it's like this is scary.
yeah,
Like then you got
definitely,
the flood popping off on you, all these aliens are just nightmare feel like the Covenant, like ooh, I wouldn't want to be in this world for real, like
yeah,
not at
de-
all. Like chief
definitely,
chief is a hero,
yeah,
as we knew. But
yeah,
so yeah, I totally feel too like that's something that has a little bit gone by the wayside in the newer games. Like it's not as horrifying or
yeah.
like even in the show, like I don't know if you watched the series.
I watched it, yeah.
When they started depicting the flood in season 2, like we all have our opinions about the show, obviously.
Mhm.
We've been all over the place about it, the whole community, but like I feel like that could have been done just a smidge better.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole
I wasn't
show,
horrified, you
yeah.
know?
I think the end of Halo 2 is a bummer because it was the only time in the entirety of the two seasons that I was like, wow, I could actually watch this and be
Same.
interested. And then
Yes.
it ended, and then we get the news that, it might not come back. And I'm like, okay, so the one time they actually get somewhere is going to
Yeah.
be Cannes, like that. Such a bummer, but the TV show had elements that, like, my straight up answer for this is has cool elements,
Yeah.
was not a good Halo show, didn't do the universe any kind of justice, didn't do
Yeah.
games, the books, anything. Like the people in charge of that, again, I would never call for people's jobs to be fired and whatnot, but I truly think that just the wrong people
Yeah.
were in charge for that.
No,
You know,
absolutely.
I straight up do. I can't imagine them being in a boardroom meeting, being discussing the script and being like,
This is
Chief,
great.
Chief takes his helmet off. Chief puts his helmet on, drives 20 feet. Chief then takes helmet off again while in the middle of a combat zone. It's like, huh? It's
Literally.
little things like that. It just blows my mind. And like,
Yeah.
regarding the whole Chief taking his helmet off thing, like I don't care if he's in like home base, chilling with the other Spartans, they're
Yeah.
chatting shit, who cares?
Yeah.
He's outside of that base, keep that helmet on. You don't know when there's a jackal ready to take your head off.
Exactly.
So it's like little things like that. And I don't know if it was like the actor had like something in their contract to show
A
his
show
face. If
face.
if that's the thing, get a different actor. I don't care. It's like when you
Yeah.
look at Mandalorian, that first season of Mandalorian is like peak, like a character with a helmet
Right.
ever. That they did it perfectly.
Right.
So if Halo was able to even capture a smidge of that, I think we would have been fine. But
Yeah. So mixed opinion here for me. I liked season 1. I will say I agree with you on the helmet thing. But not as much as season 2, because season 2, like they just took all his armor away
yeah,
and we didn't even get to see him. He was in some like sweater vest get up for like most of it. And then, I feel like season 1 was not, like I agree with you. It was definitely like I can't imagine having been in that boardroom or like the showrunners sitting there and be like, this is quality Halo, like because
mm,
absolutely not. Like it had its faults. I had to really peel back like what I knew of Halo and be like, okay, like this is like, let's treat this like a fan fiction, right? Like
yeah.
this is just another universe, another world. Like we're gonna like set this completely aside. Because if not, yeah, absolutely. Like so, but I did enjoy sort of like the way they were going with some of the storyline. I mean, there were also storylines that I thought were completely pointless, like Quan Ha or Soren's whole thing and how they like went on to that in season 2 with like now my kid's part of the Spartan program. Like we don't give a fuck. Like like I'm sorry, we don't. Like it's I wanted Chief, I wanted Silver Team. I mean, I wanted Blue Team, but we got Silver Team.
Yeah,
I wanted Chief, like I wanted the whole shebang, and then we barely saw Cortana season 2
yeah,
to begin with, and they did this like cyberpunk kind of. Yeah, I don't know if you've played Cyberpunk, but
yeah, yeah.
they did this like Cyberpunk meets Halo shit in season 2 that I was like, seriously, like they're having Chief go to some weird like brain dance club to like
Right.
see Cortana mixed with like McKee, and it's like,
That part made me uncomfortable. Like straight up, like
yeah,
it was like a really weird watch. Like it was like
yeah,
generic sci-fi, and it's like
literally.
Halo deserves more than generic sci-fi.
Halo
So
deserved way more than what they got. But then I agree too. I feel like the end, when they finally get to Halo, and then they just like clear out the Arbiter.
I also
But
thought the action scenes, the CGI was pretty like, spot
great.
on.
Yeah.
So there was a couple rough
There
moments where
was,
they had like a
yeah.
weird props in season one, like the wooden assault rifle, but
Yeah.
it's
Uh,
there was a Starbucks cup in Game of Thrones. It
yeah,
happens,
it
So
happens. It totally happens.
yeah, yeah.
But
So
I was excited when they got to Halo finally at the end of season two. I was like, okay, I can forgive the rest of season two now that we're on Halo. And then they went and completely were just like, well, it's not coming back. And I was like, you
Huh?
mean the show is called Halo and we didn't even see them get to Halo, really?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and then I mean, I could talk about the show forever because I was really super into it when it came out just because I was like, Halo content, and I
Yeah.
was like, I'm just gonna be that delusional fan that like peels it all back and like it's okay. Like this is fine because we have Chief and Cortana. But like,
Yeah.
and the fact that Cortana reprised her role, I was like, okay, I could forgive like a lot in season one, but then season two came through and it was just like, okay, like now like we were all complaining about the helmet in season one and how we
Mhm.
didn't get him in the helmet, and then it's like they wanted to make us mad, and in
Yeah.
season two we're like, okay, like you don't want the helmet, well then we're gonna take the whole thing away, and then we're not gonna give it back to him to the end.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know the show had it wasn't Fallout, that's for sure.
No. Yeah. No. Fallout was pretty definitive.
Yeah,
That's how
I
you
feel
do
like
it.
Fallout had it right. And I
Yeah.
really hope that if Halo 2 or the season 3 gets picked up, I hope that they pick it up somewhere that they're going to do it justice because I think
Yeah.
that's what we deserve
I think
after all
uh, I think
this.
I think Halo on Max or Prime would fill me
Oh,
with a lot more confidence.
oh yeah. Halo, yeah. HBO, if HBO picked up, if Max picked up, yeah, I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to get excited because
Yeah.
like
No point in doing that to yourself.
exactly. But no, so okay, obviously then we know your stance on the show. But other than that, what's next for UberNick in the Halo world? What do you got that you can
Um,
tell us about?
what is next for me in Halo? So I guess for me, like my goals, I'm very much a goal-oriented person. That's how I was able to kind of make YouTube work because little backstory on how YouTube actually worked for me. I had an office job for a year and a half, and
Okay.
sorry, by the way, I know this is like super late, and so you're on this screen, but my camera is there, so I'm
You're
always
fine. I'm
like,
looking this way.
if you ever like, why is he looking different ways
No, you're
constantly?
fine.
Because I'm like, do I look at the camera? Do I look at the person I'm talking? So yeah, okay.
You're all good.
I should have said that like 40 minutes ago,
No,
whatever.
it's
But
okay because I'm like
um,
constantly just looking this way and I'm like, you're over here, but it's fine.
yeah, so I had an office job in 2016, in 2015 into 2016, and they let me go because there was no work for me at the office. It wasn't like I was a bad employee or something like that. They
Yeah,
let me go
yeah.
and they gave me 2 months of severance pay. And
Oh,
typically in the UK, you only get 1 month. So they gave me 2 months because I was a good employee. And I was like, okay,
yeah,
cool. So I said to my parents, at that time, I was editing for another YouTube channel, making a little bit of money that way, still
yeah,
doing my Halo stuff. And for the first time ever, I started cracking like 8, 9, 1,000, 2,000 views on each video. And it was
yeah,
like, okay, there's actually like a ball rolling here.
yeah,
There is something of substance here. So I said to my parents, I was like 21. I was like, look, give me 2 months to see if I can make this YouTube thing actually work for me.
yeah,
If not, like they were never pressuring me, like they weren't giving me
yeah,
some ultimatum. But I was like, let me just have these 2 months of not stressing about finding a job. I can just hyper focus on YouTube
yeah,
and see if it can actually work out.
yeah,
So then that was in August of 2016. By October, so 2 months later, I uploaded a video called Call of Duty Steals from Halo. Super random video for me to make. I never typically made videos like that, but I
yeah,
did. It blew up. I think it has like 450,000 views now. That took my channel from like 2 or 3 thousand subscribers to like 6 or 7 thousand in the
yeah.
space of a couple of weeks. Like it really doubled everything for me. Um, and then I was like, Mom, Dad, this is it. This is the opportunity that
Yeah,
everyone dreams of. Once you get that lightning in a bottle, you
yep.
absolutely have to ride it. So I was like, let me just go work like a horse on this. And they were like, hey, son, we trust you.
Yeah.
So shout out to my parents. They
I was
were
gonna
always
say,
hyper supportive of me, just wanting me to live my life and dream and do
yeah,
whatever makes me happy. So like my dad was always that way. So I'm very grateful that he was allowing his son to kind of, he's as easygoing. He was as easygoing as I am. So it's like
yeah,
it's a good and bad thing, like
Yeah, yeah.
it's good to have a bit of structure in life, but at the same time, like he very much was just guiding himself and he made it work. So I think he believed in me to do the same.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I just started. Then Halo 5 was the game at the time, so
Yep.
I started making my Halo 5 Warzone videos, and I kind of was smart about it. I researched, Halo 5 Warzone YouTube and what was working, and video like weapon showcase videos were
Yeah.
what was working. But then I was like, okay, how can I do my spin on this? So I started a first time using. So I was like, people love reactions to
Yeah.
things. So why don't I do my first reaction to using these weapons? So I
Nice.
combined that with my first time using. So first time using Prophet's Bane, first time using blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Every single rack weapon in the game, there was dozens of them. So it was basically like a gold mine of
Yeah.
content to make.
Yeah.
Um, so I think I went from like 7 or 8 thousand subs at the end of 2016 to like 30,000 by March
Wow.
2017. So I was able to like fully transform
Yeah.
my, content on my YouTube and everything in just a handful of months because of these like great ideas.
Yeah.
And then at some point, like I think around September 2016 is when I started streaming seriously as well, because
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I have all this time, so may as well stream.
Yeah.
Then it was all just kind of all feeding
Yeah.
into each other, and yeah, I just really was just a super fortunate, chain of events.
I love to hear this.
Yeah,
I
so it was
really
a
do.
super super fun story. I kind of was
Yeah.
full-time YouTube way before I ever should have been full-time YouTube, but just it was fortunate that things happened when they did, and my parents
Yeah.
were allowing me to, I used to edit CS videos before I
Yeah.
was while I was making Halo content, but that's kind of how I started making any money off YouTube. I was
Yeah.
editing for a CS channel, so there's a couple of CS:GO videos with like 5, 6, 10 million views that were edited by me. That's
You're
my
like,
little
I did that.
flex. My most successful videos on YouTube are not Halo, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but
Hey, shh, it's okay.
it's okay. No one has to know.
Yeah,
But
nobody knows that. That stays here in
um,
this podcast.
yeah, the no, like no one is gonna get this far, hopefully. So they'll never know
Oh,
that fact.
stop. Stop. I'm sure plenty of people are gonna
They'll
be
be like,
like,
"What was that channel
yeah.
called?" So, but no, yeah.
Yeah.
So just going back to my goals, this super long-winded answer is I'm
Yeah.
gonna really lock in. A lot of things have happened in my life, so I'm just gonna like super hyper focus on YouTube and
Yeah.
really get back to
Back to the
how I
content.
was in 2017. That's when I was at my peak efficiency of being a YouTuber. I feel like I've fallen
Yeah.
off that bandwagon just because this entire year for me has been kind of thrown off a little bit.
I
Uh,
feel
so,
that.
so this year, or sorry, whenever I'm moving back to the UK. So once I get back to the UK, I'm really just gonna get myself settled in and just become a YouTuber again. Like I
Yeah.
feel like I've kind of lost that. I've been in YouTube maintenance mode for a while, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna start making fun, unique, cool Halo videos that are
Yeah.
not doomer and gloom and all that. It's going to be actual fun content. So that's what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, no, and that's great. Honestly, like you amongst, a couple of the other people that I'm having on here, like I really value content creators like yourself because you can tell with just the content that you put out, like it's from here. It's not like, just I have to grind content because I need the views. It's like it's you
Yeah.
put out what you want to represent yourself. You put out what and you can tell it's got heart, like this is
Yeah.
what makes you happy, this is what you wanted to put out, not like, oh god, I have to do another video, like clearly
Yeah.
this person's
I
bored or
I it's funny because I know for a fact I could make a Y343 failed Halo video and it would get
yeah,
easy a
absolutely.
hundred thousand views. I actually guarantee that. Do I first of all believe that? No. Would I want
Yeah,
to make that? No. Because
exactly.
that's not me. There's a lot of people out there that rely on me to kind of keep. I mean,
Keep it
I've been told
real.
by a lot of people, like I am kind of their tie to still believing and loving Halo.
Yeah,
So, I'm not gonna lie for the sake of views and kind of ride that negative bandwagon and
exactly.
kind of, ruin these people's kind of trust in me and,
Yeah,
maybe even affect their overall love for Halo. So,
yeah.
you
Which
know,
is, it happens, it definitely happens. People look up to people, they watch you for so long, and when they start just like trying to get clicks,
yep,
they start changing their opinions to fit the masses, to fit what they think is going to pull in people. It's like, not only do people realize that, like, your viewers are smarter than that, but like
Yeah, I
it
respect my
really,
viewers enough to not.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Like some people just don't get that though, and they're like, oh, like it's okay, but it's like no, like you can tell when somebody starts, you know, just fishing for like the attention rather
yeah,
than just the love of content creation
yeah,
for the love
exactly.
of the game.
Yeah,
So like I think that's like amazing. I
I would
appreciate that about you.
I would rather quit content than resorting to be like a
Clickbait.
negative. Yeah, I would much rather just stop it altogether than
Yeah.
resorting to being like top 5 reasons I hate Master Chief. Like
Yeah. Top 5 reasons why we think Chief should know. Yeah,
top
I
5 reasons why Cortana sucks.
yeah. Why Halo 4 Cortana was the worst. Like
Yeah,
liar.
well, she is
Liar.
she is my queen, so I could never even imagine that. But
Mine too.
yeah,
Yeah. No, absolutely. So then I mean, we'll start to wrap it up here. We've been chatting for a little bit. But I have to ask too, what's your favorite Halo memory?
well, I have a great answer for this. Damn, I was like, damn, I give a super long answers. Probably sick of my voice, but
No,
I
that's why you're
guess
here.
I was gonna say you did invite me, so that's
You're
actually
here for
contra.
this.
It's like I give an answer, and you're like, would you like kind of wrap that up a bit quicker? Like that was a
No,
bit.
no, no, no. Go, please.
I'm just not used to podcasts, but
I know it's like you have to
so
like to hear yourself talk a little bit.
ODST comes out. Me and my buddies are all 15, 16, hyped out of our bloody minds. And we're like, okay, cool. Let's do a LAN party for the first time to celebrate this. And also, if you remember Recon in Halo 3, the helmet you could unlock,
Yep.
they made it so that you could unlock Recon in Halo 3 by getting all the Vidmaster achievements. And
Ah.
ODST had the remainder of the Vidmasters that you had to unlock to get Recon in Halo 3. So me and my buddies, we made sure we had all the Vidmasters completed in Halo 3, went through literal hell to get them done, but we got it
Yeah.
done before ODST. So about a week or so, maybe 5 days, I can't remember the exact timeline, after ODST released, we set up. We're going to go to my buddy's house, have a LAN party. All 4 of us brought our little shitty monitors or
Yeah.
TVs, whatever we had, brought our Xbox 360s, set up in his room. His mom bought us all the soda or fizzy drinks, as we call it in the UK, all the
Oh, nice.
candy, everything we could ever dream of. We ordered pizza. We just played the ODST campaign all night long. We did
Love.
Firefight. We did
Uh,
Legendary campaign. We actually beat the campaign on Legendary twice in one night because we
nice.
because we did it once, and then our other buddy online wanted to do it. So then one of us sat out,
Oh,
and the other one online just played through it. Got all of the Vidmasters that night. So we did all of them in ODST, got them all in that one night. But only two of my friends had all the other Vidmasters. It was me and my other buddy. So we then went on his computer, went to the Bungie website, clicked unlock recon on our accounts,
yeah.
hopped on Halo 3, and you're 15, 16, and you just
Yeah.
unlock recon armor in Halo 3.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
The most hype I think I've ever been in my entire life. Like, I'm saying, first lobby I go into, oh my God, he was recon, Like
You're like,
kids
that's
losing their
right.
mind. I'm like, hop into a custom. I'll show you how to get it. I made some
Yeah.
kid. I think I made him run around sandbox like 100 times while teabagging, saying that would
No.
help you unlock it, and he did it. And then I left the lobby after laughing. Like, yeah,
So
unlocking
don't trust
recon.
Nick when he pulls you into customs.
No, if I'm wearing a recon helmet, do not trust me. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, that I mean, you can tell by the way I'm like retelling that story. Like that
Yeah.
is something that I'll never forget. And
Absolutely.
it was
No,
just
absolutely.
it was incredible.
No, it sounds it. I mean, it's nostalgia, you know? Like we look back on those moments and it's like, man, like the first time you booted it up, the just the best time, like a time like that, we come to these and it's like that's I think too what keeps us coming back to Halo no matter what. It's
There's nothing
just the
like it.
fact, yeah, like the fact that we have such strong memories attached to it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
other than Halo, what else do you play though?
Literally anything and everything. I just beat Space Marine 2 on my stream earlier.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely loved that. My most anticipated game of the year.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it turned out to be my favorite game of the year. So super stoked on that because usually
Yeah,
that
wow.
doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Um, So beat Space Marine 2, actually beat Cyberpunk, the
Oh,
DLC earlier this year. Absolutely adore Cyberpunk.
oh yeah, one of my favorites.
Super happy that they went back and fixed it up because it's
Yeah.
probably one of my favorite RPGs of all time at this stage.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'll play anything really. Like I really am a play anything kind of guy. So,
Yeah. Are you partial to roller or mouse and keyboard? What are
so
you?
I'll play controller for FPS games for the most part.
Yeah.
If it's competitive anyway, if it's online, if it's single player, all mouse and keyboard. You know, like
Okay.
if any single player game, mouse and keyboard for sure. But if it's like a competitive shooting game or a racing game, then I'll go
Ah,
controller. So
okay.
I'm able to switch it up. Like
Yeah.
I played PC as a kid before I ever had like a
Yeah.
console, so that's kind of what I grew up on.
Yeah. What console did you what were your like your first
So
consoles?
I was a Pokemon kid. I
Ah.
was I literally let's see here. What have I got? So I have
Oh.
Charizard here.
Wow, okay.
I got an Eevee here, you know.
He
So
said
I have
was a Pokemon kid. I got a feeling we've
yeah,
carried that on.
some things never leave me,
Yeah.
unfortunately, for the betterment or
Ah,
if you could see my desk,
I can imagine.
I have a Glaceon. Like I have cards everywhere. Like it's kind of like I look insane if you look at my desk. It's literally like controllers, Pokemon cards, the Forerunner statue noise. It's
Yeah, you're
just a
about it.
mix. It's a mix of everything. So yeah, I'm a major Pokemon guy. But
Nice.
Pokemon growing up was my shit basically.
Yeah,
The Game Boy was like the first console, and then I got a PS2
nice.
for Christmas one year. So love that, like Ratchet and Clank, all
Oh
that.
God,
There's
Ratchet and Clank, yeah.
Kingdom Hearts is
Yes.
argue Kingdom Hearts 2 is arguably my favorite game of all time, even
Oh,
over Halo 3. So
wow.
yeah, Kingdom
Okay.
Hearts 2 is my that like I feel like that had a very impactful play on me as a person growing up.
Yeah,
So Kingdom Hearts 2 for sure.
yeah.
But yeah, Ratchet and Clank, I actually replayed the first one like a couple months ago and just loved it.
Yeah,
So
it's been a
yeah,
hot minute for me.
love Ratchet and Clank, and I'm still happy that those games are still going strong and
Yeah.
still really good. So Insomniac are maybe my favorite developer of all time, to be
Oh,
honest.
okay. Okay,
Um,
well, don't tell 343 that so that way they can still invite you to
I
cook
think
for the next game.
343 I think 343 would even be like, you know what? They made
It's
Ratchet and
good.
Clank, they make Spider-Man now. Like they're killing it. They're doing their
Yeah.
thing.
They're
We'll give
like,
them their
we'll allow
flowers.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll allow it.
So, but yeah, no, I still to this day I love PlayStation. You know, there's
Yeah.
zero console. Games are made where like I don't as if a game's good, I'm gonna play it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
Yeah. We are not in the Britney Christina era anymore, you know?
no,
Like,
if you're a dude or a woman over the age of like 9 years old and you care about a console war, then I don't know what to
yeah,
tell you
pretty
personally.
much.
But yeah, I mean, that's just what. And then I got a GameCube. Love my GameCube growing up.
That's what I
Then
started on.
yeah, so Pokemon
Yeah.
Colosseum and XD Gale of Darkness on the GameCube was
Oh,
like big for me.
yeah.
Then got my 360, and then it
Yep.
was unfortunately game over for the rest of my life. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know that was it.
Yeah. So I was a little bit around everything. Like I had the Game Boys and stuff, but I also had I was PlayStation most of my gaming career aside of like PC obviously, and then like I had the GameCube. Nintendo was always really prevalent in my life. But big Mario
Yeah,
fan over here. But
yeah.
I only ever had an Xbox growing up to play Halo. I
Oh,
never played any other game on Xbox except
wow.
Halo. Every time for Christmas, birthdays, I'd be like, Mom, like Dad, like I need an Xbox. Why? You only play. But I'm like, but that game is my life.
Yeah,
Like, so I only ever played Halo on that thing. And I went through so many consoles, like so many accounts, like gamer tags, just
yeah.
because I get the new one and I only played Halo. So it was like I bought that game so many times because I didn't know that it was like attached. So it was like they've made so much money off of me
That's
alone. But
great.
like,
That's hilarious.
that's my story. But like I was mostly a PlayStation person. But then
Yeah,
eventually, like I didn't become like hardcore Xbox until Infinite
yeah,
because I
yeah.
was like, I got it because I was like, ooh, new Xbox, cool. And then I was like, I gotta get Halo. So I'm sitting there trying to get Master Chief Collection, and I see Infinite's coming out. And then from then on, it was like I didn't even touch the PlayStation anymore. I had the PS5, didn't even touch it anymore. because I
Yeah.
was like, I don't need that in my
Yeah.
life. I don't need
Yeah.
that negativity in my life anymore.
Yeah. 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 But whenever I was like a kid before any of that, like playing Lego on the PC, playing
Yeah.
like black and white,
Yeah.
totally aging myself with that one. But
The pinball
um
machine that was just already
yeah,
loaded.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
age ourselves a little bit more.
So yeah, the Lego games way back in the day were absolutely my jam. So like Theme Hospital, like those kind of
Yeah.
games
Yeah.
was
I
my
was a
jam.
roller coaster tycoon, zoo tycoon. I was a tycoon
If
person.
you weren't a roller coaster tycoon person at one stage, I actually feel for you. I feel
No,
real bad
literally.
because damn, that was a good game.
Those were great games.
Yeah.
Like those, I will stand on all 10 toes for those games still. I still play them.
Yeah, no, we're
Like
good. I still
I
love like those kind of games, modern
yeah.
day, versions of them, but I still love those kind of, create your park or whatever kind of
Yeah.
games. So
Like just oh, like I love it. I'm just a big tycoon. It's the only place I'll ever be like Walt Disney.
yeah, Jurassic World Evolution, where you make your
Yeah.
own Jurassic Park. Like I
Oh,
love that game. So yeah.
yeah. I remember I used to play Zoo Tycoon a lot, and there was dinosaurs. There's an expansion pack that gave you like marine life and
Oh, cool.
dinosaurs, and it
Yeah,
was like that was my shit. It was
yeah,
like,
that's
you tell
awesome.
me anything. Tell me anything. All right. So then I have a few like fun questions that'll be like a this or that I have just to like kind of end this.
Yep.
So don't think too hard. Just kind of give me what,
But
comes to mind and
that's never a worry with me. So
yeah, me either. All right. So I have them here just off the top of your head. Favorite
right,
weapon,
sniper,
favorite game mode,
big team battle.
favorite map.
Don't think hard. Don't think hard.
Don't
It's
think hard. Come
hard.
on, hurry.
Just every map is flowing in my head. God, this is hard.
You're thinking too hard.
Guardian.
Okay. Favorite campaign.
It's
You're
hard.
thinking too hard.
Halo 3. I'm gonna add reach on a certain day. It could be reach. Different day it could be Halo 3, but Halo 3 probably
Your favorite Halo.
3.
Uh, Favorite multiplayer.
5. Okay.
Covenant or Banished?
Covenant.
Cortana or the weapon?
Cortana.
Yeah. Blue team or silver team?
Oh, blue team.
Bet you can't stick it or I need a weapon.
I need a weapon.
Forward onto Dawn or Pillar of Autumn?
Pillar of Autumn.
Rampant Cortana or normal Cortana?
I like me a bit of rampant Cortana.
Oh, okay. We like Rampant Cortana. Master Chief or Master Cheeks?
Cheeks all day, every day.
You passed. You passed the vibe check. All right, Nick. Well, it was amazing getting to talk to you, get to know you. I can't wait to see you at Worlds. I'll definitely come and bug you, say hi.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming onto my podcast. I really appreciate it. Is there anything?
I never do these, so I thought,
Well,
I
I'm
met,
honored that you would do mine.
I was like, I met Aimee. She was super sweet, so I was
Oh,
like, if you're trying to start this up, then I'll do my best to support it where I can. So I want to try and, as well as doing YouTube, just trying to
yeah,
support the community more in general.
absolutely.
So
I
this is
appreciate it.
a tiny way
We
of doing
appreciate
that.
it. Yeah. Well, we all appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I'm so honored to have you here. And is there anything that you'd like to just close out on?
Yeah, I mean, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate that you even think that I'd be a fun guest to have. So
Of
I really
course.
appreciate that. Thank you to everyone that watched and hopefully got this far. I know that we're both yappers. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I could yap for a living. That's why I'm doing this.
um and yeah, I mean, excited for Halo Worlds. Let's go Space Station Gaming. They're gonna win it
SSG.
all. So super excited for that. But yeah, make sure, is this going on YouTube? Where is this going? So
Yeah, YouTube is gonna hold the whole interview video.
okay.
It's gonna be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that for like the audio, and then I'll be posting clips, Twitter, Instagram,
Nice.
everywhere. So
Well, for everyone watching on YouTube, like and subscribe to the channel. Hopefully you enjoy it, and maybe I'll come back for a part 2 someday. That
oh
could be
yeah.
cool.
Oh yeah. And obviously, UberNick, if you're here probably because you know who he is, but if you don't, subscribe, like, follow, go be in his universe.
Yeah, there'll be
If you're not already.
a lot more content on the YouTube coming, so
Oh
I'll make it
yeah,
worthwhile.
absolutely. Well, thank you so much again. It was such a joy.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.